Okay, thank you, Håkan. Welcome, Emma, Nahida. I'm very pleased to have you here in this webinar and that you made time for this. I will a little bit about myself. I come originally from Mexico, but I have been living in Sweden since 2005, actually, and I have worked for the YMP already for 5 years. So yeah, I feel that both Norway and Sweden, Mexico and Sweden are my home. So during the course, the YMP, you will be knowing a little bit more about myself and my background. But I studied and earned my master's degree at the International Institute for Environmental Economics, where the YMP was born. And I'm very happy now to start this webinar. Nahida, I do not know whether you are new on the YMP or if you have already started the program with the program and have groups doing the missions, or if you are in the project work. But Emma is totally new, so I think it would be good then to give a little bit of an overview of the YMP and the program, because then the project work will make sense, or
Paola,
will make more sense. Yes?
I just want to break in and say that I'm keeping track of the chat and of the questions form, which you have in
Yes.
your little widget. So especially Nahida, please use that. I unmuted you again. Nahida, can you hear us? Yeah, you can hear, but not talk to us. Okay. Yeah, Paola, please continue.
Okay, I will dedicate 5 minutes max to talk about the YMP. So the YMP is a global web-based education and learning network for education for sustainable development. It's designed for students between 16 and 18 years old. This is secondary school or high school. It's free of charge for schools, teachers, and students, and it will be always free of charge. We concentrate on quality education, so we are very proud about this. Quality for free. We have already reached 113 countries, and we have by now actually more than 22,000 students since 1999. And our aim is to grow, grow, and grow. But we grow organically through teachers inviting more teachers and students inviting more students and teachers. So this grows from mouth to mouth. Like students and teachers normally have, like, they tell us that the YMP is a great experience, and they share it with other students and teachers, and then other students and teachers just want to register, and that's the way that the YMP has mainly grown. We are recognized by the United Nations. We have partnerships with India and China, and with the Centers for Environmental Education run by Ministry of Education and Environment. So, and our aim is to grow more and more. Sorry, Emma, you said something.
No, it's not me. No, it's not me.
Sorry.
No.
Nahida, or okay. Well, the duration of the course is from 18 to 20 weeks. If close a voluntary, hello.
At last you hear me. I'm Nahida from Azerbaijan.
Okay, welcome, Nahida.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes, we have started, and I will just continue, but you are very welcome to the webinar.
Thanks.
Feel free to ask questions at any moment. You can write them or raise your hand.
Okay.
Or say it. I have unmuted you all, as we are a small group.
Yes,
Yeah.
wonderful. Just a question, Nahida. Are you, do you have groups in the YMP currently?
No.
Okay. Now it's good for me to know, because then it makes sense for you to listen to this introduction of the YMP.
Yes.
So the course it's divided in missions, learning missions, and it has activities for the students. And if the groups follow one mission per week, that will be like a strict way of following the course. It will take them from 18 to 20 weeks to finish. But the groups can also, many groups sometimes take more time because there is vacation periods and there are weeks so they may take up to 26 weeks. So the main components of the Young Masters program is learning missions. That it's like a course material. Like the students and teachers, or mainly students, they read about different topics. You will see here about HAN and sustainability. It's about awareness. They read about nature, ecology, biodiversity. Then there is another part with socioeconomic challenges, measuring sustainability, planning sustainability, actors in society or stakeholders. Then it goes to community and different topics on environmental topics, solutions, tools, and so this is the overall content. There is a logic behind this, and it's like each mission, as we call them, or chapter, but we call them mission, learning mission, builds on the previous one. So it's like first is establishing the base, the ground, the foundation, understanding the very basic and key concepts about ecology. Then we move a little bit to environmental challenges and to social challenges and to more economic and policy planning actors in society. So, and then this is to understand, to see, be able to see the problem, understand how system works, and then we can define this like, why is sustainability important? And then this other side is based more on how do we do sustainability? What can we do? So it's more focused on giving tools to students to come up with solutions, to get an innovative thinking, to get a more system thinking approach to the problems and the solutions, and then applying the tools. And then this is more of a creative area. So that's the course. So those are the missions. Each mission has assignments for the students, and these assignments these are key for YMP because this is where the students leave the computer, they discuss with the teacher at their schools and with their group, and then they go outside to the world and discover, find, search, understand, make contacts, apply new skills in order to be able to develop their assignments or their tasks. And then they report them on the website, and other groups read them, they give feedback, they grade it, the assignments, all the tasks are graded by other students and also by teachers. So each group is allocated to a global classroom that has different has groups from different parts of the world. For example, yeah, a global classroom can contain a group from Canada, another from Azerbaijan, if Nahida comes in with groups, and from Russia, if Emma, we look forward to see your students, and another one from India, another one it can come from Australia and Latin America, Argentina. So then the beauty of this program, one of the beauties of this program is that the different groups have the same assignments, go out and explore the world, explore and develop the same tasks in their local communities, and then come and report your results. So then they share their very unique local experiences, problems, findings, way of thinking in the global classroom. So all the other groups learn how the same problem can be seen in a different way, depending on the culture, depending on geography, on the location. How waste is managed in Azerbaijan, how waste is managed in Colombia, how waste is managed in Russia, and in India, or any other country. So, and then they share how they solve their tasks. And there is a lot of learning with this, and a very deep and a very rich understanding of cultures, communication, and development of skills. So this happens, all missions, the 18 missions have assignments, there are feedback missions, and then when they complete those 18 missions and the feedback missions, then they have the opportunity to develop a project work. And this is voluntarily. They don't really need to do it, but if they want, they can. And what happens is that when a group completes all the missions, then they can get a diploma. Or if they want to have a richer diploma, they can decide to take the project work and then do the project, and depending on the quality of the project, they will get more and a richer diploma with more credits. And so a key element in the program is communication on the site, and the communication. We have developed this platform that allows. We have an interface that is very friendly, that it contains elements of social media. It looks a little bit like Facebook, but it's an academic program. It contains some elements of games, because learning we learn when we enjoy it, and we also the education system is being very slowly adapting to and evolving and including like new methods of studying. But gaming has shown to have, if well used, it has very pedagogical incentives, and we give credits, and it's really interesting for students and for teachers, because also the teachers can get credits by doing different things, by evaluating projects and giving comments to other groups, communicating with other teachers, bringing in more teachers, and growing the community, giving suggestions and feedback. And then they get also a certificate telling all what they have done, all the projects and groups that they have managed. So it turns really valuable to have this diploma that is certified by Lund University in Sweden and by UNESCO, the United Nations. So it's there is worth in it. This is how the assignments, the learning missions look like. The students read like this, and then they go offline here. They conduct their assignments, then they post their assignments, and then they are ready to go to the next mission. Here is how they see the work of others, and they can communicate here. They can see where the other groups in their classroom are located. They can see stories. Here is the program. Oh, what happened? So let's see. Normally, I just took this time to go through this because you are new in the program. But now let's go to the project work, and that is the matter of this seminar. So these are the points for today: how to create a successful final project work, examples of good YMP works, defining a project work, useful tools, the significance of engaging stakeholders, and then if a group develops a very good project, they get the opportunity to compete for prizes, not for prices, but for prizes. Let's do this here. For prizes, sorry for that, and invitation to worldwide events. This is really interesting for students and the teachers because many times they are also invited. So something important to understand is what is the purpose of a project, YMP project work. The project work is designed to bring about hands-on innovative thinking and collaborative creativity. This means the YMP wants through a project, the students go through a process of understanding, like they have to define a problem and bring solutions, and so they deeper their understanding of the local conditions, and then they gain the skill to more accurately identify problems based on the system thinking that they learn during the project work, during the missions that I mentioned, through all of the process, like with the learning missions and the assignments and the feedback. And then that allows them to come with effective solutions. This sounds like, this could sound at first time like, oh, how our students are going to make that, and I'm not such of an expert as a teacher. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to follow the program because it builds up. It's like the program is designed to start very, like from the very beginning with awareness, and then it builds up. So, but this is the result. By the end of the 18 missions, the students, the groups are able to attain a better understanding of local conditions, and to come up with solutions to the problems that they identify. Then the project work also aims to bring local capacity building, to have the student groups to bring local capacity building through creating projects that have a local impact at schools and in their communities, like impacts that last. And we will go more in detail, like what is an impact that lasts? What is this capacity building about? We will go through that. But the project work also aims to connect different stakeholders, to have the students and the groups connecting different stakeholders. And this is key because connecting stakeholders and creating networks is a way to promote, is a very effective way to promote real action towards a more sustainable lifestyles in cities and towns, or like lifestyles in like particular. All in all, the YMP project work has the purpose to create a change in perspectives and lives of both the groups and the community, or where like the people they work with in the project. Let's see some examples of the kind of successful project works from the YMP, so to see what we are talking about. This first project was developed by a group of girls in Portugal. So they ran an energy-saving campaign at their school consisting of a date without mobile phone to save money to send school materials to Africa. They organized all the students at their school and they asked them, or they created a day for like a no cell phone day. So what they did is that they asked the students to count how many phone calls and SMS and messages they didn't send, and how much that would have cost if they have sent that, and how much energy they saved by not charging their mobile phone that day. And so they saved that money. All the students brought that money to this project of the YMP group. And then the girls, with the help of their teacher that has been working with an NGO in Africa, they organized, they put together school materials and sent the materials to Africa. This has different components. This has a component on energy, on behavior, on saving, like awareness on what will happen if we do not use the mobile phone. That also brings up creativity. How can I communicate with a mobile phone if I need to? Socioeconomic aspects, because they were helping poor people with scarce resources in Africa. And so it's environment, social, and economic aspects. Very nice project. Here, this Chinese group, this was a little bit more technical in terms of environment. They designed a simple and affordable biogas generator model appropriate for urban areas. They presented the project to the local government and initiated a local biogas project with the help of the government. This group identified a park where elderly people used these static bikes and other exercise machines. And then they thought, well, these people are spending like 30 minutes or 1 hour riding a static bike, and that could generate energy with the use of some like biogas generator. And so they put together this idea of the park as a place where people recreate, and then connected the environmental aspect of creating energy to light the park through the generation of energy, energy from the exercise of the people. So they it was just a system of people doing exercise, and with that exercise just lighting the park. It was beautiful. The Swedish group, this was more of a chemical exercise or related to chemistry. They identified a system developed by a private company that used a biological wastewater treatment system. So they adapted it with the resources from the student. They adapted it to identify the contaminants in a lake close to their homes, and then apply this wastewater treatment technique. And it worked. And the company helped them to also understand the system. So here, this project shows how the students contacted the company, understood this wastewater treatment system, and identified a lake with a problem of contaminated water. So it was really, it also showed action and reaching out and creativity. As you can see, depending on the background of the teacher, the projects can be different and also depending on the interest of the students, because some of the teachers in the YMP are English teachers, so they may not be able to help the students to develop a biogas system or a biogas generator. But they will be able to guide them, and perhaps if the students are very interested on creating something connected to energy, they can reach to the teachers or to other organizations that are working with that, and the teachers can be a guide for that and support for the students. Otherwise, they can develop more social projects, educating. So it depends, and it doesn't need, the groups not need to develop a super system in order to be a good project. What they need to do is to be able to create change, to change the way of doing things, so things are done in a more sustainable way. So people start sorting waste instead of throwing it away. Imagine like a group that just organize a block where all the households in that block or neighborhood just start understanding the importance of sorting waste, and then you have a whole group of people just organized by the students that sort waste in a more sustainable way. So it could be just like that, just change the way of doing things. Two key elements. Do you have any questions so far, Emma?
I'm just listening and reading and learning. No questions
Okay.
so far yet.
Okay, yes, it is good.
Thank
You can send questions afterwards also, because there is a process now going on, like bringing in information, and then you process it, and then you can send your questions later to us. There is no problem. Two key elements to create a successful YMP project is to understand and fulfill the overall purpose of the project work, just what I mentioned here. To bring in an innovative thinking and work collaboratively and creatively, understand a project and bring solutions, try to have an impact, reach out to stakeholders. Like if a group manages to fulfill those purposes, we are talking about a good YMP final project work. The program is designed to give students the skill to create a quality project and to strengthen teachers' guiding and coaching skills. How? So, and this connects, there is, as I told you, the YMP builds the blocks of a pyramid, we can say, because the learning missions start very basic, and then the assignments start getting more elaborated, complicated, mixing concepts. So something key here for teachers is that making sure that the students really make an effort and learn and make an effort to conduct their assignments the best possible, because there is where they learn. They learn when communicating. You can see here a key element is communication. Communicating with other students, asking them, what were your problems? How do you understand this? Look, you see the problem like this, but I see that the problem could be explained in a different way. So then they start developing in a very organic way, developing like the capacity to see one problem with different approaches. And this happens not only to the students, but also to the teachers. And both students and teachers become better on grading and peer reviewing the works of others. So there is a community learning here where all the people engaged in this starts learning together. So it's like almost like if somebody misses, then the group misses something. So each group and each individual, by participating in their team, in their group, they become like unique and essential for a group learning. And that's a very beautiful feeling. Plus, learning in this way is it's fun. So by the end of the 18 missions, the students and teachers have developed many skills like being able to conduct interviews, being able to search for the information that they want, for relevant information, being able to identify, interpret problems. And it's like they don't even think about it, but they develop a system thinking that allows them to understand better the problems and create solutions that are more systemic at the same time. So by the end, like students and teachers should not be worried about how are we going to create such kind of project. By the end of the 18 missions, they will have the skills already developed to create good projects. Plus the confidence that I was able to just put something in an international, in a global classroom. I was able, our task was read by other, was read and reviewed and discussed by students from other countries, developed and undeveloped. So it's a very rich and exciting learning that is happening here. So I think this is important, these tips, because if you, Emma and Nahida, are starting project work, are starting with groups anytime this year or when you decide to start groups and have the possibility to do it, then it's good to have this in mind from the beginning. So a project work, defining a project work, it's more about connecting dots. Connecting dots, it's like matching problems identified with solutions that they have studied, plus skills and interests that the students have, plus a mission or an idea of having a more sustainable planet. So let's go through this. So when starting the missions, I encourage all teachers to, after each mission, just reflect with the students. What are the 3 topics? And have a journal with the students. You can have a journal with the students and just write down what, ask the students, and the teachers can do this themselves also, to identify the 3 topics that inspire the students more. And then by the end, after doing these 18 times in the 18 missions, the students will see just perhaps some patterns and some coincidences in missions, and they will start also defining what are their own interests, and then decide together as a group what are our interests in terms, what are the topics that interest us much as a group, and from there they can just decide what is the topic that they will work as a project, as a group project. So so from the start, I recommend to also try to identify the most pressing sustainability-related problems in the local in the locality, and it's just ask these questions, like just before going to the next mission, just discuss with your students and ask them, what do you think is the most pressing problem in this mission, and after doing your task, and then write it down. So at the end, you will have 18 most pressure topics, pressing topics, and those could be like that could be like good ideas for project works, for a project work. And then after having this, they will see how different topics relate to each other, and this way it's easier to create a project work. It is recommendable to read about top projects at the YMP newsletter. We are now working on our newsletter, and we aim to feature a project each month, the project of the month, so everybody can see examples of good project works, and that will help them also to get an idea and inspiration when they have to define a project work. There is, in mission 2, there is a task that there is a question to the group, and it is, if your city was a sustainable city in 20 years, how would it look like? How would it look like? So then perhaps just with this mission, all the students can say, okay, now we have to develop a project work. So let's look at our dream of a sustainable city in Azerbaijan. So then they will see, like, 3 of the students just thought that there will be a perfect organization of waste in the city. So then that could be the project work topic. And then they can start searching, okay, what are the main problems? Why the waste is just put in a landfill instead of being recycled? But a project work can be based on a vision or an idea of an ideal sustainable world. And then the project would consist on how to make it happen and start working on that. It's good to think on a lasting effect. For example, there was a group that it was from Argentina, and what they did is, like, they organized the school to recycle plastic. They contacted a company that recycles plastic and make jackets. And then they asked the principal of the school if they could use the logo, and if the school was interested to make jackets from the plastic collected in the school and put the logo. And then the school committee, the school principal, bring it to the committee, and everybody liked the idea. So now, after some years that this group finished the program, the school is they give uniforms, and the uniforms are produced by the plastic recycled at school. So this was a wonderful project where the students managed to engage also the company that recycles plastic. Useful tools, both to develop a project work and to complete the missions in the YMP. Just organize your time, define dates when you are going to work on this on the missions, and if we focus on the project work, it's good to define goals and steps on how to reach the goals. Make measurable goals. Like, it's not enough, like a very weak goal would be, we are going to inform all the students about the importance of eating organic food. So then what the goal, then there's no direction, because then how many students, what students in the whole country, in the whole city? It is better to say, we will reach all the students in the neighborhood or in this region and bring to them information about healthy eating and organic food, and run a contest for good ideas or something. So, but there needs to be more defined goals, and how many students, like at least 3 schools would be involved. So, and then, so when reporting the results, they can say, we reached 6 schools and our goal was 3, or we reached 2 schools and our goal was 5. But then you can measure that there was an accomplishment from 0 to 5 or 0 to 3. So then it's good to identify the strengths of the individuals of each of the students. Here, this is a little bit tricky. The YMP aims to create teamwork. So all the missions are supposed to be developed together as a group. Some students, some groups go very quickly through the course, because they divide. If there are 4 students, they say, okay, the first mission and the first assignments, or the assignments in the first mission, will be answered by by John in the group, and mission 2 will be the responsibility of Mark, and so each student becomes an expert in each mission. But then the group, and then they can go very fast, because then in 1 week they have 4 missions completed, for example. But that's not the point. The point is that the group works together, because when working together, everybody learns, and everybody learns the concepts and how to develop these tasks and the skills that they need for the project work. Plus, they learn about teamwork and how to. Many times it's not easy to work in a team when each individual wants to do different things and they have different interests. And for a sustainable world, we need generations that are capable of reaching consensus and agree on steps to move forward that are for the good of the goal, of a commonly defined goal, and not for the interest of just one of the parties, of the people included. So it is always good to document, to take pictures during the missions and also during the project, and to film if they can film, and to keep writing your journal what they learn in the day, because then that will help them to write the reports. It's always good to communicate on the platform and ask questions. Just ask, and many times we just ask a question and just get unexpected information and doors open and connections. So ask and communicate. These are tips for teachers that you can find when your group starts a project work. So I will skip these tips, and mainly because Emma and Nahida, you are not yet working with a project work and a group, but we can come back to this when you are in that part of the program, because we hope that you will be soon members and participants. Okay. So this is also, I think these are topics for to take when you are working with the project work. These are examples of projects, but we have also common mistakes about project works. But I want to hear your questions. I want to make a break here, because I think I have information that may not be that relevant for you now, but you may have questions that are more relevant now. So let's see. Do you have any questions or comments, Emma and Nahida?
How long are you working on this project?
How long are
you working on this project?
Okay. Yes, groups in average, they give from 3 to 5 hours. They dedicate 3 to 5 hours each week to the YMP. So yeah, it depends.
How many participants are there in a group?
Yes, the groups must be about 3 to 5 students, and they need to have a teacher, and the groups need to be part of a school, like it's a teacher in a school that is guiding them. And the teacher can have a co-teacher. So sometimes it's useful for teachers that have many groups in the whole YMP to have co-teachers, so then they can divide the work supporting the students. You can have that. So it can be 2 teachers per group or 1 teacher.
Does the group work separately, or they work with other groups around the world?
Yes.
Do they create a twin project, or each team has its own project?
Yes, they work. They work with their missions as a group in their country. But what happens is that they bring their results to all the other groups, to the global classroom, and then the discussion and the learnings happen together there. But the first input comes from the individual group. When it comes to the project, also each group develops its own project. So if you, Nahida, have a group of 4 students and you are their teacher, YMP teacher, then your group will develop their project alone. It's not a co-project with other groups in another country. No, it's like, and that is for practical reasons. It's easier to work. The groups have 2 months to work on their projects. So
only after 2 months they have to show their completed project.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Some groups do not have results, but then they can report all their steps, and it happens that perhaps some groups it's a project that is more long-term, but we need to see, they must be able to put a report and to show that something has happened, and then they have completed most of their goals.
Is there any forum on the website of the for students or for teachers to discuss how to work during the project work?
Okay, during the project work. Well, we are working on that. The webinars are an alternative to bring in questions because the project we are having a project work webinar per month. But the idea is to discuss different aspects of project works in each webinar. So what we are listening to today will not be the same presentation as next month. There will be common, like basic elements that that I will have to talk about, but we will focus. I will give perhaps half of the webinar to discuss the specific aspects of project work, and teachers and students can send questions in advance. So we discuss those specific questions. And normally the question of one group can be the same question, like, or a similar question that another group has. So it's always, so a forum or a space to discuss would be this one. We have on the website, when the student group, when the groups post their proposal, they receive comments from other teachers, and from as much as we can from the YMP, the staff also comment on projects. So there is also some discussion there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so
great.
Yeah, I will just I will skip this. We have 5 minutes, and perhaps I think this is it's good information for you. It's always worth to develop a good project, because good project works can get the YMP. We now and then get invited, or invitations to worldwide events like Stockholm Plus 40 to discuss environmental issues, or Rio, the Rio meeting. And now we have a climate change and ESD meeting in Africa. So the organizers, this meeting in Africa is being organized by the United Nations. So they come to us and they ask us, do you have groups that have an interesting project to present in this meeting. And so then we look at the top projects, and then the students are invited. And many times, and sometimes, or many times, it depends, the teachers also. So a good project work can be a ticket to compete for, again, prizes. This was not prizes, but prizes. For prizes.
Good motivation for students.
Exactly. It's good, and for teachers also.
Okay.
So it's really interesting. Here is an example, like when the YMP was invited to Stockholm Plus 14, it was also organized by the United. No, it was it had different organizers, but the United Nations participated, and also the Center for Environmental Education in India. That is a very big organization, and that is also reaching other countries, and we have a partnership with them. So, and students from around the world participated from the YMP. This is our Brazilian students participating at the Rio Plus 20. So this is the end of the presentation.